Hello my friends and happy Kaiju Lai. Today we're looking at Godzilla Rivals Biollante VS Destoroyah. And this is a whole lot of fun. You can find this issue contained in the Godzilla Rivals Round 2 trade paperback. And it's actually going to be the last issue in the book. So this back half right in here. But we're going to look at it in the single issue because that lays out a whole lot better on my table than the trade paperback. But this is the way to go if you're going to be reading it on your couch and you just want to pick it up after the fact, because this is a heck of a lot cheaper than buying all the single issues by themselves. So let's take a look at this issue. It was a whole lot of fun. This is the cover right here, which I think is a pretty radical cover, but this is actually a variant cover, so I usually don't go for those, but I thought this was pretty killer out of the two covers I saw at my comic shop. But no hate on the regular cover, because it's pretty cool too. And we'll look at that at the end of the book. This here is written by Nick Marino, and it's illustrated by Sean Dove, and I like the illustrations a lot. It's very cartoony. It reminds me of a web comic. I say that with no hate or anything. It just does. But I can dig it, and not everything has to look hyper detailed or something. Certain projects you just kind of feel should be more premium and go for that like big oomph artist. But there's a place for this sort of art, and I think it's a whole lot of fun in this book how they do it. And do a great job with the monsters themselves, which is always the most important part about a comic book like this. You know, if you're reading a monster book, you might have some talking heads and a little bit of boring plot and stuff, but as long as the monster stuff kicks butt, you know, it's worthwhile. So the plot here is that this company's got a piece of Biollante and has bioengineered it into a, like, how do you say, Slurpee supplement, smoothie supplement drink, and everyone's drinking it, and it's the big new thing. But this lady, who's a disgraced ex-researcher, ends up teaming up with this thief right here to expose the company for doing all their evil shenanigans and poisoning the population with Biollante juice. And here we're getting a little bit of a flashback as she's talking about her history of being a kaiju scientist. And this is real fun. It's a very low-key plot as far as, like, it's not a crazy wild concept, but it's a good idea. The whole making a drink out of Biollante and that infecting people and stuff, like, I like this. We see right here at the bottom, this person's infected, and they got the rose coming out of their head. Very cool. And this is the evil corporation lady, and of course she's got a big chunk of Biollante there that she communes with psychically. So we get a fun chase scene here, intercut with monster stuff going on. Biollante infecting people, and they decide to whip up some sciencey stuff to try and fix this situation. It's very Deus Ex Machina, like they just sort of pull it out of their butts. But I'll buy it. She's a kaiju researcher. She had some samples of Destoroyah, and you know, what better way to fight a monster than with other monsters? And it is real cool because we get the massive amounts of the Destoroyah coming and swarming on the one Biollante, and the one Biollante just kind of forming from all the separate vines. I thought this was pretty fun. This goofy face Destoroyah make there. And this is real dope too, where Biollante just tosses a dude and he just gets thrown and lands on the bridge there. Like that's brutal. Yeah, and Biollante's looking so cool down here on this bottom panel there. Just such a great monster design. Both forms, really. But that rose form especially looks so unique and cool. And here we go. It's not a proper monster comic if we don't get at least one big spread of a cool monster scene. And look at that. Destoroyah just flying out there in his airborne mode. Coming at Biollante. I love that too, where you got the screaming and the crawling. And their fight's pretty good, I tell you. But oof, that's not the way I would want to go out. And I tell you, from the looks of it, Biollante seems to have come out the winner of this tussle. And if not for the fact that they dispersed all this chemical that dissolves the Biollante plant matter that the scientist lady worked on, because that's what takes Biollante out. So that's the end of that issue. It's pretty fun. It's a bit more lighthearted. I like this a lot more than the one we just looked at the other day, the Ebra and Rodan issue. I just felt they did a better job explaining the world of this. Like, I bought everything about her being a scientist and everything that she did and her plot and them stumbling on a thing. Whereas in the previous one, they just kind of said it was a thing, but they didn't show it. Here, they actually showed her doing a thing. They set it all up, and yeah, I liked it a lot better. But I tell you what, we're not looking at this right away, but before the month's end, we're going to look at this Space Godzilla issue, because that's one of the coolest comics you'll read ever. It's just sick. There's like no dialogue or anything in it, really. It's just non-stop killer art all the way through. Beautiful artwork storytelling. So we'll get to that later, but let's look at the cover gallery here. This is the main cover, and that's by the same artist as the comic itself, Sean Dove. And no hate on that, because that's a pretty fun cover. But I saw this one at the comic shop too. They had both of them, and man, I just couldn't not get this, because I thought that was sick. I love the clouds and the thunder and everything, and you got the tail and the tentacles, and it's just so cool. And even in the corner there, it's just real fun. But we got some other ones back here too, and I didn't see these at my comic shop, but man, this one's really neat looking. I dig that quite a bit. But holy heck, look at this thing. That's what I'm talking about. Juan Samu? Man, that dude's dope. Look at that thing. That kicks butt. Whew. Yeah, I think if I saw all of these covers at the shop and they were all the same price, I'd probably have to go for this one. There's so much action going on there. But the rest of the comic is just advertisements there. So, not much else to show you. Just telling you, I had a good time with this issue. I highly recommend it. And if you're going to pick it up after the fact, grab the trade paperback. You get a whole bunch all at once, and it's great for just grabbing and taking with you. But thank you for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow for July.